Let me know when you're ready. You're ready? Okay, so welcome everybody. I'd like to call this meeting of December 20th, 2022 to order at 7 p.m. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of Council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land through thousands of years. We'll move on to item 3. So during the month of December 2022, I attended 11 meetings for municipal and/or county business. On December the 10th, 2022, we enjoyed our festive dinner with council staff and municipal committee volunteers. Part of the evening celebration, service awards were presented to Laura Griffith, Kim O'Brien, Jerry O'Brien, Ron O'Neill, and Karen Utronke for 5 years of service, and Karen Schoenfeld for 20 years of service. Thank you to staff for organizing the event activities, entertainment, and wrapping the donated prizes that were raffled off. All proceeds from the raffle were presented to the Sharing Place Food Bank. On December 11th, 2022, I participated in Edenville Santa Claus Parade. I was pleased to join Bonter Valley Mayor Jennifer Murphy and Rotary Club President Maria Robinson in the Rotary Club's horse-drawn carriage provided by Mansell Jameson. Parade was a huge success and was enjoyed by many residents after a 2-year absence. On December the 12th, 2022, I was invited to join Premier Doug Ford and Ministers Johnny Akabuski, Todd Smith, and Braden Smith, along with Hydro One representatives and members of the Shawwoods Education Center Board, for a visit to the Shawwoods Education Center, and a photo of the group is attached. Our speed limit review study project was launched on December 5th, 2022 with the meeting of the ad hoc committee and XPC Service Inc. of Ottawa. And attached below is the year in review, highlighting the accomplishments of council and staff. On behalf of council and myself, I want to thank our staff, summer students, and volunteers for their dedication, commitment to service, and their consistent efforts implementing our strategic plan, ensuring that our community strives. Season's greetings and Happy New Year to each of you and your family. I'm not going to read the whole year in review, but it is attached. And I just want to say it's always nice to see at the end of the year what's been accomplished, because sometimes you forget how much has been done. So again, it's there for your review. So I have a motion that council accepts the mayor's address as presented, and I'm going to move in a second, moved by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Councillor Burns? Yes. Councillor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Schoenfeld?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Carried. Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof? Seeing none, then we will move on to the adoption of the minutes. And I have a motion that council accepts the December 6th, 2022 public meeting minutes and the December 6th, 2022 regular meeting minutes as presented. And I'm going to move in a second, moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Any additions, corrections, or omissions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns?
Yes.
Councillor Buckles?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld?
I'm just gonna abstain because I wasn't here, so I don't know if things were done right or not.
And I'm a yes, so it's carried, thank you. And we have no delegations tonight, so we'll move on to item 7, which is reports. And first one being Public Works. I have a motion that council accepts the Public Works report as presented. But I got to move in a second, and moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Buckle. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns?
Yes.
Councillor Buckle?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld?
Yes.
Yes, carried, thank you. Item 7.2 is the CEMC update. And I have a motion of council accepts the CEMC update report. And I'm going to move in a second, moved by Councillor Buckle, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments, questions? Councillor Buckle.
Just a suggestion, moving forward. Michelle with our CEMC. I know it's been several years since we've had all the members of council participate in an exercise. And as there are potential alternates to the head of council, it might be something to consider for a future session.
And let's see, well, Michelle has documented that. So. I'll call the vote. Councillor Burns?
Yes.
Councillor Buckle?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Very, thank you. Item 7.3 is the service tracker stats. I have a motion that council accepts the service request reports as presented. And I'm going to move in a second, moved by Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld, seconded by Councillor Burns. Comments, questions? Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld?
Where and what was the vandalism? Does anybody know?
We will have to provide that information later.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions, comments? I just noted that the biggest percentage of requests were through the planning and building permits. Call the vote. Councillor Burns?
Yes.
Councillor Buckle?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld?
Yes.
I mean, yes. Harry, thank you. Item 7.4 is the action item list update. I have a motion of council accepts the action item list update report as information. They're going to get a move in a second. Moved by Councillor Buckle, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments, questions? Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld.
So the shore allowances, those are the totals. And so you just have 30% of the ones that are left on paper. It's not like 30% new people, it's just 30% of the ones that were still existing from a long time ago.
So we have received a few new applications, which we are processing. And then we do have the outstanding ones. So it's approximately 30% of the new and old. Okay, outstanding.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burns?
Yes.
Councillor Buckle?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld?
Yes.
And a yes, it's carried, thank you. Item 7.5 is the fire department reports. I have a motion that council accepts the 2022 fire department report as presented. They're going to move in a second, and moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Reddish-Schonfeld. Comments, questions? Councilor Anderson.
What's like a controlled fire?
The control burning.
Yeah, sorry.
That's basically people that call in when to report a fire that's actually a controlled burn.
So a controlled burn would be somebody just lighting a bush.
Controlled burn, somebody has a permit and they lit a fire, and we know about it.
Okay.
Somebody drives by with a cell phone and goes, the field's on fire.
Okay, all right, and then, so then that gets called in, but then you don't dispatch anybody, what is that?
Yeah, we have to immediately go on the website that controls our burn permits, verify that it's what it is. Normally we send one person out just to verify that something hasn't got out of hand.
Right, okay. And then the 7 outdoor fires, what do they look like? Just somebody that didn't have a permit?
Pretty much.
Okay. And then are we gonna talk a little bit about the members who weren't willing to talk about the certification training?
We can't do it.
Okay, I'm just wondering why, like.
Most of them are of an age where they don't feel that the effort to put into it is worth how long they're gonna stay.
Okay,
Most of them are in the 60 to 70 range.
okay, all right, thanks.
Do
You need a burn permit to burn in the winter time?
Yes, sir.
Brush pile?
Yes, sir. Councilor Robinson.
Just curious question. So if somebody has started burning something without a permit,
Yes.
do they get fined?
Normally, the first time we visit, we educate them and try to do and give them the information about the burn permits that they're free, that they can do it for the year. And if we have to make return visits, yes, we go.
The reason why I'm asking is that I was talking to a few people and they're not aware that they need to get a permit in order to.
Yeah, I'm not sure how else we're going to convey that information. It's on the tax bill information thing. It's on our website. I don't know what else to do other than, like I said, that's why we educate people the first time around.
Okay,
But like I said, repeat offenders, we'll send.
okay, great, thank you.
But this just to follow up on that though, if they had a fire and got out of control and they didn't have a permit, would they then have to pay for firefighter time? Yes. Okay.
So that's a stimulation to.
Well, exactly. If it's negligence, we're gonna be obviously harder on it. Right. If somebody's a burn barrel went up the backyard when they shouldn't have, you'll just come by and say, hey, this is not the time of day to be burning it. It's not need a permit. Second. If they light the whole field on fire,
Then it's on there.
And I do say it's very easy to get your burn permit,
Yes.
for sure, and it doesn't cost anything, so that's an added bonus compared to other municipalities. The only thing, and I talked to Ms. Hamlin about it, was it asked for my civic address, but I burn on a place that doesn't have a civic address. So I tell them that, that this is what I do.
Yeah, normally there's a spot when you enter your civic address, you'll bring up a map.
Yeah.
And you have the option to adjust that map.
To do that, yeah. See, no, I never saw that when I did. I'll have to check another time. But usually she knows where it is and then I tell them so everything's good.
Yeah, if you make the effort, we're not gonna be paying on your.
Yeah. But I'm just saying for some people, it could be the same thing where they don't realize, like, because they're not burning at their house, they're burning on another piece of property they have that, perhaps doesn't have a civic address.
Did you have another question?
Well, I was gonna ask because of communication. Whether we just, rather than having it on the tax bill itself, but as an insert, so, because usually if there's an insert.
Yeah, that's what we put it on as the information insert.
It's on an insert.
Yes.
Separately?
It's the same one that has the dump hours and
Yeah, it comes with the
your information.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just wondering if it's separate, that somebody would see it more than a piece of paper that they throw aside.
And maybe at your information sessions, whenever you do and the public's around, maybe just have like a little piece of this work that just says, don't forget, you need a burn permit or something.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and lots of people I talked to asked if you need a burn permit. I said, yeah, sure. And it's really easy. Just go on the website. And then after they say, wow, that was easy.
Yeah.
But it's that education of realizing, because for a long time, we never had permits, right?
Yeah, it's a new thing.
But I do say how lucky we are because in Laurentian Valley,
Oh, yes.
If you wanna have a bonfire, you need to have a permit.
Yep.
Which you have to pay for.
Councilor Barco.
We have the electronic information signs too. Yeah, it can go up there and kind of just be automatically have one rotating messages.
Yeah.
I think there was no on there, no firm permits, yeah.
Never too much information.
And if you go looking for
Yes,
it, it certainly is
is there, I know.
I'll call the vote. Councilor Burke,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes,
Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Becky Shanto,
Yes,
and yes, Terry. Thank you. Item 7.5 is one that one we just did. Item 7.6 is the fire protection agreement. I have a motion of council accepts the fire agreement report as presented and directs staff to amend the agreement as detailed and return it for final approval. And I gotta go over to seconded. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Burke. Comments, questions? Councilor Fischel.
so in the past, it worked a certain way. How do you ensure that, you know, you just go out for those, higher potential?
Basically, the call screening goes on in the back center, the 911 reception center.
Okay,
They're the ones asking the questions. What kind of emergency do you have? Is your house on fire? Is there a carbon monoxide alarm? Is it your neighbors burning and putting smoke into your yard? That sort of thing.
okay.
So that's where the diversion.
Okay, so that now that would be different than what it was before. If we-
Because right now, if they call 911, they ask you know, police, fire, or ambulance, you say fire. And you live in these specific addresses that the Addison Brownlee looks after. They're gonna set it up, no matter what it is.
Right, okay,
So we're just trying to put find a point on the things that they are sent to.
Right.
Because every time they leave the hall, it's pretty much costing us $1,000.
okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burke,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Fischel,
Yes,
and a yes, it's carried.
That's sir. With your permission, I will excuse myself.
That's fine.
hey,
Thank you very much.
take your candy cane and share that with your little woman there.
Very much.
Okay.
happy holidays.
Thank you.
Yes. Item 7.7 is the bylaw report. I have a motion that council accepts the bylaw enforcement report as presented. And I have a mover and a seconder, moved by Councilor Fischel, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Fischel,
Yes,
and a yes, carried, thank you. Item 7.8 is the CBO report. I have a motion that council accepts the CBO report as presented. Can I get a move in a second? Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Burke. Comments, questions? Councilor Buckwell?
nice to see the new build number going up.
Certainly is, certainly reflects the workload that our CBO had this year with just the number of, the permit number has doubled and so has the construction values, so certainly
very active.
yeah, it's been a busy year. Call the vote, Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes,
Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Fischel,
yes,
and yes, very good. Item 7.9 is the special projects report. And motion that council accepts the special projects coordinators report as presented. Can I get a move in a second? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burke. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Buckland,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld,
Yes,
and yes. Carried, thank you. Item 7.10 is the investment update. I have a motion that council accepts the report of information and further directs staff to reinvest GIC investment in a 5-year escalator investment. And then move in a second, moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckland. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Buckland,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld,
yes,
and a yes. Carried, thank you. Item 7.11 is the treasurer's update. I have a motion that council accepts the treasurer's update report as information. David mover and seconded, moved by Councillor Terry, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments, questions? Councillor Ricky Schoenfeld.
so we budgeted to sell, but we never did sell, is that why it's at 0? Is that what happened?
You're referring to the,
Yeah,
the vehicles. So yes, we, have, sold 2 vehicles, we're just, waiting on payment from Gov Deals.
okay. And then, with the cottage rentals, so did we rent cottages and we brought in revenue of 4,800, is that right?
The cottage was rented this year,
Yeah,
and
is that what it was? Minus, so I look at minus 4,800, so that means we brought in 4,800, right? It's in the second sheet. Right after the dog tags here.
that's correct, yeah.
Okay. And I had another question. On the next sheet. Like, how come admin benefits, we budgeted for 0 and then they're like, is it 67?
Because for budgeting purposes,
Right.
I reconcile the salary benefits and vision and dental
Okay,
under one budget line.
okay. And then the last one on that, it said admin contracts. What's an admin contract? Or an example of an admin contract? We contracted for 15,000 and it's really 17,800. But just like what kind of things would fall under admin contracts?
So we have a contract for the photocopier, we have a contract for the postage machine.
Okay. Those things, okay. I think that was, oh. That was it. Oh, and then the the 2018 Western Star, just wait, I gotta look. Yeah, oh, capital expenditures. Sorry, I figured that one out. I should have used the ruler. Sorry about that.
I just had the one question about Let's Cemetery Road and the budgeted item didn't line up with the actual. That was explained to me. Michelle, if you want to explain to the rest of the council what happened there.
For that, so the construction was done in 2021, but we weren't reimbursed from the province for the claim until 2022, beginning of 2022.
And as you've indicated, the auditor may adjust that when he does his audit. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Buckland,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld,
Yes,
and a yes. Very good. So item 7.12 is the budget and strategic plan.
Insurance renewal.
Oh, so the numbers on my motions are reversed. Sorry about that, so should be the insurance renewal report. I have a motion that council approves the municipal insurance proposal from MIS Municipal Insurance Services in partnership with March Canada Inc. in 2023 for the amount of $131,803 plus applicable tax. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Bartholomew. Comments, questions? Councilor Robinson.
Just a question on the insurance. Well, does it cover cybersecurity?
No, it did not.
Is that a separate?
That's a separate, separate policy you have to purchase.
Are we going to?
Council directs, we can obtain a quote for cyber insurance.
I would suggest that I would concur.
Because I've heard of other municipalities that were affected that way, and it's very expensive.
It can be, yes.
Yeah.
How much of an increase was that from last year?
Right.
Are we around 20%?
No,
12%.
so,
Oh, 12%.
so yes, so it's a, the premium, the renewal premium is, an increase of 12% this year. Over last year, so it translates to a $13,660 increase. And it's driven by liability insurance rates, excess liability premiums increasing 15% due to market conditions. Auto premiums are up 3%, and property limits have been amended or increased 8% to reflect the inflation this year.
Are we having any issues getting insurance companies to provide quotes? Because I know that was a discussion in county that there's some organizations that they're being dropped by insurance companies and they can't even get insurance coverage.
We haven't faced that. Yeah, we only received the quote this afternoon, but we do have a good experience with our existing company, and they have been willing to quote.
From 12% isn't too bad, considering
Not
some
some
of the
people
increases that some other municipalities are facing.
Yeah. When I spoke to them this morning and inquired what we may be facing, he had mentioned that he had seen 15% increases on a number of other municipal accounts. So 12% is definitely lower than that.
Yes, well,
Regarding the cyber insurance, is the direction from council, or do we want the resolution amendment?
we should amend, or we should do a separate resolution to get a quote for cyber insurance.
Amending would be.
And we could just add that and direct staff to obtain a quote for cyber insurance.
If you can do that, Laura, and then before we vote, we'll bring it out. Okay, so the motion now reads: council approves the municipal insurance proposal from MIS with Marsh Canada Inc. for 2023 in the amount of $131,803,000 plus applicable tax, and then staff be directed to obtain a quote for cyber insurance. And I'm gonna, well, I'll just check with the mover and seconder. Are you okay with that? Councilor Burke, Councilor Buckle? Yes. Okay, I'll call the vote. Councilor Burke?
Yes.
Councillor Buckwalt,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Randy Chonko,
Yes,
and yes, Harry, thank you. So item 713 is the budget and strategic plan. I have a motion that council accepts the budget and strategic plan report as information. I gotta go over to seconder, moved by Councillor Buckwalt, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burt,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwalt,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Reggie Schonfeld,
yes,
yes, Harry, thank you. Item 714 is the sidewalks on County Road 30. I have a motion that further to the paving of the sidewalk, approve the paving of the sidewalks along County Road 30 for the estimated cost of $175,000 pending the 2023 budget approval. And I gotta move on to second. Moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Buckwalt. Comments, questions? Councillor Buckwalt?
Just to confirm, I'm just getting a chance to look at the second attachment. So I'm assuming this is to replace only the existing sidewalk as they are now. So it's not changing the length. So it's basically ending out of my driveway where it does now.
Yes,
Okay.
It is something that the county they would do the work, seeing that they're doing County Road 30 to Spurwood Road this year, so. They do the work, we have to pay.
it would be included in their calendar also.
Councillor Buckwalt.
So just to follow up on that, so the estimate of 400,000, that would be for the same stretch of sidewalk, so that wouldn't be giving any additional pedestrian lane from there up towards Spurwood.
That's correct.
Okay.
I think it was more to give more parking along that strip. Because then they would have to move the hydro poles, but then they would add that section for additional parking. But it is a pretty hefty cost.
But it's the right time to have the work done.
It is, yeah. Because we've had that sidewalk replacement on our list of things to do for a number of years, and it's just never, now you're right, it is a good time to do it.
And I'm looking at like even the new pole replacement, they'd have to move to the other side of the road. Because there's no room there once you get down.
Or
past the
would they go
church.
underground, like I don't know I'd have to talk to the county engineer. To see
I don't know, because not all the properties along there have their hydro service going in underground. There are still a bunch that are above ground. So that would have to be that, yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwalt,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Reggie Schonfeld,
yes,
and yes, Barry, thank you. So that brings us to item 9.1, which is non-action items. I have a motion that council accepts correspondence items 9.1.1 to 9.1.5 as information. And I got to move over to second and moved by Councillor Burke, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Councillor Burke,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwalt,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Reggie Schonfeld,
yeah,
and yes, Carrie, thank you. Item 9.2.1 is the CHIO Tiny Hearts magazine. I have a motion that council advertises in the CHIO Caring for Tiny Hearts magazine in the amount of $295 for a business card size ad. advertised in previous years. Can I get a move in a second? Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments, questions? Saying none, Councillor Burns.
Yes.
Councillor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Rachel.
No,
I'm a yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 9.2.2 is the elimination or reduction of taxes on fuel used for heat. I have a motion, whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the Township of Nabraceland and supports their request regarding the resolution for the federal and provincial governments to reduce or eliminate the tax charged on fuel used to produce heat for homes, including gas, oil, and propane. But I got to move in a second, moved by Councillor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Burns. Comments, questions? Saying none, Councillor Burns.
Yes.
Councillor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councillor Robinson.
Yes.
Councillor Schoenfeld.
yes,
And yes, carried, thank you. Item 9.2.3 is the annual Indigenous Community Awareness Training. I have a motion to council direct staff to register members of council to attend the AMO OFIFC Indigenous Community Awareness Training. And I got to move in a second. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments, questions? Councillor Robinson?
I was just wondering, is that the same one as that was advertised last month?
No, the one that was advertised last month is the Inclusify anti-racism training. And unfortunately, the deadline for registration on that one was, I believe, November the 20th.
This is extended,
Oh, it was extended.
they did extend it.
Oh, okay.
It's the same time as this one almost.
Councillor Buckley, did you have a question?
I was just gonna comment that I will be attending. I've had similar training already through work.
Any other comments, questions?
We'll decide later. Or do we have to make a decision today?
You could let staff know if you intended to participate.
Yeah, because I have to decide between the two.
Okay,
Is there a date for this?
I believe there is. Can we bring it up, please?
Oh, okay. January 19th to January 31st.
So yeah,
I did this one last year and it was really, really well done. It was a great presentation, yes.
Did you do the?
I didn't do the inclusify one, no.
Yes.
excuse me.
I think the one new thing on this one this time is this Urban Indigenous Action Plan, which I don't think they had at the last one I did. But it's something that they're working certainly to bring to municipalities.
Okay.
So I'll call the vote, Councillor Burns.
Yes.
Councillor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councillor,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson.
Yes.
Councillor Schoenfeld.
Yes,
And a yes, Terry, thank you. Yes,
can staff just confirm who will be attending that training?
so at this point, it's Councillor Robinson.
not me, my work.
So we'll move on to item 10.1, which is the communications committee. So I have a motion to council enacts the following bylaw, being a bylaw to establish a communications committee. And I'm going to move in a second, moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckwell. Comments, questions, Councilor Buckwell?
And this is just coming back because the bylaws to be done every new term of council, correct?
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns?
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reddish-Montal?
No,
Yes, that's carried. Good. Are there any matters of urgency? Any notice of motions? So upcoming meetings and unfinished business. Item 14.1 is a resident road concern. So I have a motion that council directs staff to send a response letter as discussed to the residents. Could I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Reddish-Montal, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments, questions? Councilor Buckwell?
Has there been any discussion at the previous meeting, council, or are we discussing it for the first time this evening?
We didn't go through this at the last meeting.
Right, we brought it back.
Okay.
And I have drafted a letter for council's review. It's on the screen right now.
Any comments? Councilor Burke?
It's too bad we can't get the MTO to do something with that intersection in the lake.
That's why we have a meeting with Minister Mulrooney at Roma at the conference in January.
Okay, there was a meeting with them,
There is, yeah.
because there's people getting coffee, like waiting 20 minutes, because they come from Lake Dory Road, they want to know it's a reserve. And the traffic on Highway 6 is just going both ways, and you sit there sometimes for 20 minutes, you can't get across the highway.
And weekends are the worst.
Oh,
Yes.
Saturday morning is crazy there. And that's good that meeting taking place then.
And that meeting will be, yes. And that will be on a Monday of the Roma conference, so they've given us a date and time. The rest of the letter, I'm happy with.
Yeah. No, I am too.
So seeing no other comments, I'll call the vote. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reddish-Montal.
yes,
Yes, it's carried. Thank you. Item 14.2 is the Crucify anti-racism training. I have a motion to council direct staff to register the members of council attending the Crucify January 17th and 19th, 2023 two-part workshop on EDI and anti-racism training at a cost of $500 per person. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Do we have anybody interested in taking that one?
Again, I've this is one of the areas that's very significantly being addressed by the province right now, so.
So I don't believe there's any takers. Do we still go through with the motion or do we just?
So we, I would call the vote and then if council doesn't want to.
We'll just defeat it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, was this the other one you were considering, Maria?
Yes,
So we should really, if we're in favor of.
I'm doing the other one.
So you're doing the other one instead of this one?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were still contemplating which one.
Yeah, I was contemplating, but I have done anti-racism training.
Okay.
So the other one seems to be much more of value.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't shoot it down as somebody
Yeah.
wanted to go. Okay.
call the vote. Councilor Bird,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Are we shooting it down?
Yeah.
Well, we don't need to shoot it down if we support the idea, but if nobody wants to go, it shows that we do support
Okay,
the inclusive training.
thank you.
And
Yes.
nobody's fine.
But nobody knows.
Councilor Reggie Shanto.
Yes.
And I mean, that's fair. So that brings us to item 15, which is our closed session. I have a motion of council going to close pursuant to section 239(2)(b)(c)(k) of the Municipal Act, one regarding acquisition or disposition of land, plans and instruction for negotiations, and 2 for labor relations or employee negotiations. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burns. And we will go into closed at 7:46 p.m. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Shanto,
Yes.
and yes. And 16.1 is property acquisition. I have a motion that council direct staff to proceed as directed in regard to land acquisition in closed session. I'm going to move it in seconder, moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Shanto.
Yes.
And yes, Barry, thank you. Item 16.2 is human resources. I have a motion that council direct staff to proceed as directed in regard to human resources in closed session. We're going to move in a seconder, moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Buckwell. Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Shanto.
Yes.
And a yes, that's carried. Thank you. And 16.3 is shared services. I have a motion that council direct staff to proceed as directed in regard to shared services in a closed session. Can I get a mover in a seconder? Moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Buckwell. Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Shanto.
Yes.
And yes, that's carried. Thank you. And 17 is our confirmatory bylaw. The bylaw 2022-64 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for December the 20th, 2022 is read a first and second time this 20th day of December. You could move in a seconder, moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckwell. Is read a third time and finally passed as 20th day of December 2022. Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Shanto.
Yes.
Yes, it's carried. Thank you. And item 18 is adjournment. I have a motion that this December 20th, says 2023.
Or your head.
Missed a year somewhere. 2022 regular meeting. The council adjourns at 8:58 p.m. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Schwenko,
Yes.
and yes. Carried, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Holiday.
Thanks for the chocolate. Delicious.